When we think of World War I, the first images that come to mind are mud-soaked trenches, barbed wire, and soldiers struggling to survive against impossible odds. Yet behind the front lines, every soldier carried a small, meticulously designed collection of items that historians barely talk about today, a camp kit that was their lifeline in the field. These kits weren't about comfort. They were about survival, efficiency and practicality. They contained everything a soldier needed to cook, sleep and stay clean in the harshest conditions. What's fascinating is that this forgotten toolkit is still surprisingly relevant today. Modern backpackers and wilderness enthusiasts could learn a lot from the items soldiers relied on over a century ago, especially when travelling light and staying self-sufficient. Today, we're diving into the components of the World War I camp kit, exploring how it worked and showing how you can adapt its principles for hiking and camping in 2025. The World War I camp kit was designed around mobility and multifunctionality. Trench warfare and extended patrols demanded that soldiers carry everything they needed on their backs. Space and weight were at a premium, so each item had to serve multiple purposes. A metal mess tin, for example, wasn't just for cooking. It doubled as a plate, a cup, and sometimes even a small scoop for carrying water. Soldiers learned to improvise. The lid could serve as a frying pan, and the base could boil water or be used to melt snow. For modern backpackers, the lesson is clear. Choose gear that serves more than one function. Ultralight camping cookware today may be made of titanium, but the principles remain the same. A single pot can become a kettle, a bowl, or even a mini stove if paired with solid fuel tablets. The World War I soldier's approach reminds us that every ounce counts, and, well, ingenuity matters more than fancy gadgets. The camp kit included essential hygiene items that doubled as survival tools. While hygiene in the trenches was far from perfect, soldiers carried small items to maintain basic cleanliness: soap, a razor, and sometimes a small towel or cloth. On the surface, these seemed trivial, but in practice they had multiple uses. Soap could be shaved into strips for cleaning gear, water purification, or even treating minor wounds. Cloths were used not only for personal hygiene, but also for padding, insulation, or filtering water in emergencies. Applying this to modern hiking or backpacking, you'll see the same versatility in everyday items. A small bar of biodegradable soap can clean both your body and your dishes, while a bandana or microfiber cloth can serve as a towel, dust mask, or emergency bandage. You know, the World War I camp kit really teaches us that items don't have to be highly specialized to get the job done. They just need to be reliable and, well, multi-purpose. Food preparation out in the field was honestly quite simple, but it was effective. World War I soldiers often had very little time to prepare their meals, so the camp kit included a small stove or fuel source, like a tin of solid fuel or maybe alcohol tablets, and a compact set of utensils. The rations, well, they were basic: canned meat, hardtack biscuits and powdered coffee, but the kit really did allow soldiers to make those things edible and, frankly, a bit more palatable. For a modern backpacker, the lesson is really the same: simplicity and efficiency. A small stove with lightweight fuel paired with a single mess tin and a folding spoon or spork can handle most meals on the trail. You don't need to carry heavy pots or elaborate cookware. A thoughtful combination of tools, inspired by the World War I kit, is enough to keep you nourished and energized. Beyond food and hygiene, soldiers had items to help them stay warm and protected from the elements. Blankets, ponchos, or canvas sheets could be rolled tightly for portability and used as sleeping mats, windbreaks, or even improvised tents. Small shovels or entrenching tools weren't just for digging. They doubled as cutting boards, water carriers, or even cooking surfaces in some cases. Modern hikers can borrow from this approach by selecting gear that serves multiple roles. A lightweight tarp can provide shelter, act as a ground sheet, or be used to collect rainwater. And, compact sleeping pads not only insulate you from the cold ground, but can also double as makeshift seating or padding for carrying fragile items. The World War I camp kit's focus on multifunctionality is directly applicable to today's minimalist backpacking. The true genius of the World War I camp kit was its adaptability. What made this kit enduring wasn't just the items themselves, it was how soldiers adapted them to ever-changing conditions. Mud, snow, rain, and enemy fire all required flexibility. Soldiers learned to improvise constantly, using a single piece of equipment in ways that designers never intended. A tin lid became a frying pan, a cloth became a filter, and a shovel became a makeshift pot holder. This mindset, seeing potential in every object, was more valuable than the kit itself. For anyone backpacking in 2025, adopting this mentality is, invaluable. Gear may fail, conditions may change, and resources may be limited. By thinking like a World War I soldier, you learn to use what you have creatively and efficiently. Even a small kit of modern items becomes infinitely more effective when paired with observation, adaptability, and problem-solving skills. The First World War camp kit, it actually remains a model for modern lightweight backpacking. The soldiers of the Great War didn't have the luxury of ultralight gear, but they carried everything they needed to survive long marches and harsh conditions in a small, portable kit. These days, ultralight backpackers achieve similar goals with modern materials, but honestly, the principles are identical: portability, multifunctionality, and adaptability. Studying these historical kits reminds us that survival and efficiency don't require cutting-edge gear. They require ingenuity and smart planning. By combining lightweight modern gear with the mindset and techniques of First World War soldiers, hikers and adventurers can, create a kit that is both practical and versatile. Whether it's cooking, hydration, warmth, or even emergency repair, the lessons of the past remain fully applicable. The First World War's forgotten camp kit may have been designed for war, but its lessons are honestly timeless for anyone living or travelling off the grid. Understanding how soldiers carried, improvised and adapted their gear gives us a blueprint for modern survival and minimalist backpacking. If you found value in uncovering these hidden lessons from the past, do subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with fellow history buffs and outdoor enthusiasts. The wisdom of the trenches is still relevant today. It's up to us to, well, carry it forward.